Hey everybody, it's Frankie, your University United Mrs. 2025. And I just wanted to jump on here and kind of talk about timing. Um, Timing when it comes to pageantry and things in general. A lot of times we think when we didn't win the crown, we think it means like we lost. And if you go in with that mindset where you put the value in the crown and the sash, every time you don't win, it's going to be a blow. And so I think about timing and like why that is so important and just a few things. So I think about I'm gonna give you this visual. So there is this Elmo the character, he's sitting on the dock, he has a fishing pole in his hand, and it says, "The longer the wait, the bigger the blessing." And so when I think about my journey and how I am where I am now as your University United Miss 2025, I think about how did I get here, and I just think about how I found the pageant and all these things, right? So my debut back into pageantry was in 2020 in 23. I was just scrolling through Facebook or doing a few something trying to figure out, because I was like, I think I can do pageants. And I don't know why the thought just came to my mind. And I found the Tennessee USA popped up on my Facebook feed. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, I'm just gonna throw my hat in the ring. And they accepted me. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I got really excited. Well, I mean, no tea, no shade, y'all. They accept everybody. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Just know that if you put your hat in the ring, it will be accepted. So not trying to mess up anybody's. If you ever got accepted in something that takes away from the shine of it, but everybody gets accepted for the most part. But anyway, and I meet some girls in the pageant. I actually sat next to the winner. So the year that Crystal Foot won, I actually was like the girl next to her. And met a few girls, and I told y'all I made it to the top 16. I was the people's choice, Miss Congeniality, um, and 16 top 16 finalists that year. It was a lot, but I had a lot of fun and I wanted to look for another pageant. So as I was looking for another system. um I ended up finding University United Miss, and it's funny because the Tennessee state directors for that year, one of the girls I actually competed with in Tennessee USA, and I just remember her being really, really nice and very, very sweet. And even though I didn't compete at the Tennessee level, I, was coming from Tennessee, and her and her mother took me under her wing, and really pulled me into the Tennessee, and like all the Tennessee girls, you know, pulled us all in, and it was really sweet of her, and I really appreciated that. And I think about that timing, of me meeting her at the Tennessee USA. We actually did a walking clinic together, so I actually, met her before the pageant, and so like I knew her. I got to know her a little bit better at the pageant, and then of course, competing in 2024, I got to know her even more, and now I would definitely say that we are friends. So I just think about that timing, and then the second thing when it comes into timing, I think about as y'all know, in 2024, I was the first runner up, and my family was very upset. They were like, "We just knew you had it." But it was something about when I took first runner up, I was genuinely happy for my sister, Miss Addie Garrett. Like, she is a wonderful spirit and a wonderful soul, and I was just happy for her, like genuinely happy. Like, I wasn't upset, I wasn't mad or anything like that. And it's crazy how that works out, because if I would have won the crown that year, I would have not been a successful queen. I'm in the military, so I had just picked up a promotion. I had just found out I was getting ready to go to school, and I was going to PCS to a whole different state for a whole year. And that year was tough. Like, it was very time consuming. I just know I wouldn't have been a good queen. I just had too much stuff going on. Like, pageantry was not the priority. school and all that stuff was a priority. So I think about that timing, but I did know this. I knew that I wanted to come back and I knew that I wanted to win. And I think about my preparation for that time building up to my second appearance at University United Miss. I mean, I competed, I want to say, in four like smaller pageants. I did two practice pageants um in the Missouri area with a well-known a pageant competitor herself, Miss Lisa C. Like, she's awesome. She puts on these pageants to get girls, ready for moving on to the next, to state level, national level pageant. So she, takes her time to put these things on. So I did two of her pageants, and then I did two of Journey Carr's. I'm sorry, Journey Stout, sorry. I did two of her pageants, and just in preparation, and I worked really hard. I was able to work with launch prep to get ready for interview, and I just got very locked in. And I was nervous because we had six contestants the year before, and I was the only one that returned this year, and then we doubled the size. So we ended up getting 13 competitors. Two ended up falling out, and I was nervous because, I mean, these are some beautiful women, hard hitters. I don't think anybody was new to pageantry. I think they all were pretty much polished, and polished pageant girls. So I was definitely very nervous, because at the end of the day, pageantry is subjective, and three or four different people on a different day give you different results. So you never really know, what's going to happen. All you can do is go out there and give it your best and give it your all. And you know, I always have a good time, because one thing about me is, my pageant sisters are this, that they're my sisters, they're my sister queens. And I'm competing against myself at the end of the day. I all I can do is go out there and give my best performance, and then hope that the judges see what I'm doing, and give me the scores that my scores. So I just remember them calling that top five, and they called in alphabetical order, so I was called first every time. So they called for me, and I was thankful, because, like I said, nothing's guaranteed. So they called my name as one of the top five, and we got in line to do the questions, and you had to pick the question from the bowl. So I picked my question from the bowl, and I read it, and it is a question that I have answered so many times before, right? So that timing, me being the first one, being able to go reach in there and get that my first question, it was something I felt very confident answering. I answered my question, and I felt really good. So when they started calling, I'm so sorry. When they started calling the runners up, I started getting nervous, because in my mind, I'm like, they're gonna call my name. You know what I'm saying? Fourth runner up was not me. Third runner up was not me. And every time I was like, in my mind, I was like, if they don't call me as the winner, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I worked so hard. Second runner up, they didn't call me, and it came down to me and the girl. I remember seeing this lady's photo, and I was like, that is my competition. I don't know why I felt that way. I just did, and it was her, and it was down to her and I. And she is a very, 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 very sweet lady. She is so awesome. And they said the first runner up, and they did not call me, and I was the winner. And I had a panic attack. I just felt so humbled and so blessed that all the work and the dedication, me locking in all the things, that timing, that being in the right place in the right time, the right outfit, like everything aligned for me, and I was called the winner. And that just meant so much to me. Even right now, if I watch my crowning video, I will tear up, because that win for me was the put together of all of my hard work, all of my dedication, all of my things. And for me, that is the true sign of what locking in and manifesting what you plan on doing. I said, I'm going to respectfully murder the competition. And I won. And that just, it meant so much to me. And I've taken that same pride, and I feel that I have executed that through my reign. If you saw I did a video about what I've done for the past 6 months, and what I plan on doing for the next 6 months is, continue to reign with poise and pride and just excellence. I just really feel that this title is a part of me because I just put so much effort into winning it. So and it's all timing. I feel like I might be biased because I'm the queen, but I feel like I've been a marvelous queen. And I just know that if I would have won last year, I just wouldn't have been the best queen I could have been. And I just feel blessed that that door closed and it opened, another door opened for me, and I was able to lock in, focus, and set my eyes on the prize and win what I literally came to do, what I said I was going to do, and that was to win. So I just want to share that story. Hopefully it speaks to somebody. All right. Well, see y'all later. Bye.